Imagine this. You're reading an old book and a phrase jumps off the page, striking something deep within you. Later that day, you hear the exact same phrase in a random conversation. Coincidence? What if I told you this is the universe speaking, directly to you in a language most people never learn to understand? For over a century, this truth has been hidden from the masses. Carl Jung called them synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that defy logical explanation. But these aren't accidents. They're cosmic signals proving we live in an intelligent, responsive universe. Today, I'm going to reveal the hidden synchronicity code that could transform your entire perception of reality. From birth, we're programmed to believe in a dead, mechanical universe governed by random chance. They tell us consciousness is just brain chemistry, that we're isolated beings floating in an indifferent cosmos. This narrative isn't accidental. It's designed to keep us powerless, disconnected, and dependent on external authority. But every mystic, every shaman, every enlightened being throughout history knew this was a lie. Here's what they don't want you to know. Synchronicities are increasing exponentially worldwide. More people are seeing repeated numbers than ever before. Meaningful coincidences are happening with such frequency that even skeptics are starting to question reality. Why? Because we're in the midst of a global consciousness shift, and the universe is working overtime to get our attention. Think about your own life. Haven't you noticed that when you're aligned with your purpose, everything seems to fall into place? When you're following your heart, the right people show up at the right time? That's not luck. That's the universe confirming you're on the right path. But mainstream science dismisses this as confirmation bias or pattern recognition. They need us to believe we're powerless, that life is random, because an awakened humanity threatens the entire control system. When you understand synchronicity, you realize you're not a victim of circumstance. You're a co-creator with cosmic intelligence. Let me blow your mind with some facts they hope you never connect. In 1982, physicist Alain Aspect proved quantum entanglement. Particles remain instantly connected across any distance. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance because it violated everything we thought we knew about reality. But here's the kicker. If subatomic particles can be instantaneously connected across the universe, what makes you think consciousness operates any differently? David Bohm, one of the most brilliant physicists who ever lived, proposed that reality has two orders. The explicate order we see and the implicate order, a hidden dimension where everything is interconnected. Synchronicities aren't violations of physics. They're glimpses into this implicate order where separation is an illusion. The double-slit experiment proves that observation affects reality at the quantum level. Your consciousness literally influences what manifests in the physical world. Yet mainstream science refuses to explore the implications because it would unravel their entire materialist worldview. Rupert Sheldrake discovered morphic resonance. Invisible fields that connect all living things. When members of a species learn something new, other members can learn it faster without direct contact. This explains why synchronicities are contagious. As more people experience them, it becomes easier for others to tap into the field. But these discoveries are marginalized, ridiculed, or ignored because they threaten the fundamental assumptions our society is built on. They'd rather keep us believing we're separate, disconnected beings than reveal the truth. We're nodes in an infinite network of consciousness. Every ancient civilization understood what modern science is just beginning to rediscover. The Chinese spoke of the Tao, the underlying flow that connects all things. Hindu sages described Indra's net, where each jewel reflects every other jewel. In an infinite web of connection, Native Americans knew all beings are related in the great circle of life. They weren't primitive or superstitious. They were more advanced than us in the most important ways. They lived in constant communication with the universe because they never forgot the fundamental truth. There is no separation between the observer and the observed, between the self and the cosmos. The Akashic records, described in Sanskrit as the cosmic library of all thoughts, words, and actions, aren't metaphor. They're describing what modern physicists call the quantum field of information. When you experience a synchronicity, you're accessing this field, downloading exactly the information you need at exactly the right moment. Shamans worldwide understood that reality responds to consciousness. They knew that when you align with the natural flow of existence, the universe begins to reorganize itself to support your highest good. This wasn't magic to them. It was the normal way of being. But then came the age of reason, the Industrial Revolution, the rise of materialism. We traded wisdom for knowledge, connection for control, intuition for intellect. We forgot how to read the signs, how to dance with the cosmic flow. Now, as we face the consequences of this disconnection, the universe is working harder than ever to remind us who we really are. Here's where mainstream physics secretly aligns with ancient mysticism. The zero-point field, discovered by quantum physicists, is a sea of energy that exists even in the vacuum of space. This field contains infinite information and connects every point in the universe instantaneously. Sound familiar? The ancient sages called it the cosmic consciousness, the unified field, the source of all creation. When you experience a synchronicity, you're temporarily accessing this field in a conscious way. Your brain, acting as a sophisticated antenna, receives specific frequency transmissions that manifest as meaningful coincidences in your reality. The more spiritually awakened you become, the more finely tuned your antenna becomes. Neuroscientist Eben Alexander, after his near-death experience, proved that consciousness exists independently of the brain. During his coma, when his brain showed no activity, he experienced the most vivid, coherent consciousness of his life. This validates what mystics have always known. Consciousness is fundamental, not emergent. The Global Consciousness Project has been monitoring random number generators worldwide for decades. They consistently detect non-random patterns preceding major global events, suggesting a planetary field of consciousness that responds to collective human attention and emotion. Your individual synchronicities are part of this larger tapestry of interconnected awareness. Mirror neurons in your brain fire not only when you perform an action, but when you observe others performing the same action. This suggests we're neurologically wired for empathy and connection. Some scientists theorize these neurons can fire in response to quantum information fields, explaining why you might think of someone just before they call. The heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in the body, 60 times stronger than the brain's field. The HeartMath Institute has proven that emotional states create coherent or chaotic patterns in this field. When you're in a state of love, gratitude, or appreciation, your heart field becomes coherent, potentially attracting synchronistic experiences. Biologist Rupert Sheldrake's discovery of morphic resonance changed everything. He found that when one member of a species learns something new, other members can learn it faster, even without direct contact. The most famous example, when scientists taught rats to navigate a maze in London, rats in New York subsequently learned the same maze significantly faster, despite no connection between the groups. This isn't just limited to learning. Form, behavior, and even consciousness appear to be transmitted through invisible morphic fields. These fields explain how migrating birds navigate thousands of miles, how identical twins separated at birth live remarkably similar lives, and why creativity often emerges simultaneously in different parts of the world. Your synchronicities aren't just personal phenomena. They're part of this larger morphic field of human consciousness. As more people awaken to synchronicity, it creates a resonance cascade that makes it easier for others to experience them. You're not just receiving cosmic guidance, you're contributing to the awakening of human consciousness itself. The 100th monkey effect demonstrates that when a critical mass of individuals within a species learns a new behavior, it suddenly spreads to all members of that species. We're approaching this tipping point with spiritual awakening. Every person who recognizes synchronicities, who trusts their intuition, who lives in alignment with cosmic flow, brings us closer to critical mass. This explains why synchronicities cluster around life-changing decisions, spiritual awakenings, and periods of rapid growth. You're not just navigating your personal journey, you're participating in the evolution of consciousness itself. Your awareness creates ripples in the morphic field that help awaken others to their own connected nature. Quantum physics has proven that at the fundamental level of reality, there are no separate objects, only relationships, patterns, and information. In constant dynamic exchange, the observer effect demonstrates that consciousness plays an active role in collapsing wave functions and determining reality. You're not just witnessing the universe, you're continuously creating it through the act of observation. Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose proposed that consciousness arises from quantum processes in brain microtubules. This suggests your thoughts aren't produced by classical neural firing alone, but emerge from quantum coherence patterns that connect you to the universal field of consciousness. When you're in sync with this field, synchronicities become inevitable. The concept of non-locality means that quantum events can occur simultaneously across vast distances without any apparent causal connection. Your consciousness operates on quantum principles, meaning your thoughts and intentions can influence events instantaneously across space and time. This is the mechanism behind synchronicity. Recent experiments in quantum biology show that photosynthesis, bird navigation, and even DNA repair utilize quantum entanglement. Life itself operates on quantum principles. You're not a classical mechanical system, you're a quantum consciousness interfacing with a quantum universe through synchronized resonance patterns. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that every possible outcome exists in parallel realities. Synchronicities might be moments when you consciously align with the timeline where your highest potential unfolds. By paying attention to these meaningful coincidences, you're navigating between parallel possibilities toward your optimal future. Princeton University's Global Consciousness Project monitors random number generators around the world. During major global events, these random systems show significant departures from chance expectations. This proves that collective human consciousness creates measurable effects on physical systems. Your individual awareness participates in this global field. The ancient concept of the Akashic Records describes a cosmic information field containing every thought, word, deed, and experience that has ever occurred. Modern scientist Ervin Laszlo calls this the Akashic Field, a field of information that underlies all of reality and connects everything to everything else. This isn't mystical speculation anymore. Quantum field theory describes vacuum fluctuations that contain infinite zero-point energy and information. Some physicists theorize that information never disappears. It's encoded in the quantum vacuum itself. When you access synchronistic guidance, you're downloading information from this cosmic database. Think about times when you've known something you shouldn't logically know, when you've had insights that seem to come from beyond your personal experience, when you've connected with strangers in impossibly meaningful ways. You're accessing the Akashic field. the universal memory that contains the stories of all beings. Children often display remarkable knowledge they couldn't have learned, remembering past lives or demonstrating abilities that defy explanation. As we age, societal conditioning dampens our natural access to this field, but synchronicities can reopen these channels, reminding us that we're connected to far more than our individual memories. The phenomenon of cryptomnesia, unconsciously remembering information and believing it's original, suggests that all knowledge exists in a shared field. Inventors, artists, and scientists often describe ideas coming to them fully formed, as if downloaded from elsewhere. Edison talked to the little people. Tesla received visions of complete inventions, and Einstein attributed his insights to intuitive leaps rather than logical deduction. Your synchronicities are personalized downloads from the Akashic field, giving you access to information that serves your soul's evolution and purpose. Perhaps no synchronicity is more common than seeing repeating numbers. 1111, 222, 333, 444. Millions of people worldwide report seeing these sequences daily. But why numbers? And why these specific patterns? Numerology, one of humanity's oldest sciences, recognizes that numbers carry vibrational frequencies that resonate with different aspects of consciousness. Pythagoras understood that reality is fundamentally mathematical, that numbers are the language of creation itself. When you see repeating numbers, you're receiving coded information about your energetic state and life direction. 11 is often called the wake-up call, a portal of awakening that appears when you're ready to embrace your spiritual nature. Many people report their spiritual journey beginning with 1111 sightings. It's as if the universe is saying, pay attention, you're ready for the next level of awareness. The number sequences serve as confirmation that you're aligned with your path. 222 often appears during relationship and partnership phases. 333 signals creative expression and communication with ascended consciousness. 444 indicates foundation building and establishing stability. 555 heralds major life changes and transformation. From a quantum perspective, these number patterns might represent resonance frequencies that align your consciousness with specific probability fields. When you consistently see certain numbers, you might be unconsciously selecting timeline trajectories that lead to corresponding life experiences. The fact that people worldwide report similar number sequence experiences suggests a collective component to this phenomenon. As more people recognize these patterns, they strengthen the morphic field around numerical synchronicity, making it easier for others to receive these cosmic communications. Digital devices showing these times precisely when you look creates an interface between technological and consciousness fields, a bridge between the material and spiritual dimensions of existence. Learning to recognize synchronicities requires developing a different kind of awareness, what Jung called participation mystique, a state of consciousness where you're fully present and attuned to the interconnected web of existence. It starts with paying attention to the spaces between events, the pause between thoughts, the moments when rational mind steps aside. Synchronicities often come in clusters. You might hear a song on the radio, then overhear someone humming the same tune, then see the artist's picture in a magazine, all in the same day. These clusters aren't random. They're orchestrated communications from your higher self and the universal intelligence guiding your path. Animals frequently appear as synchronistic messengers. A hawk flying overhead when you're contemplating a major decision, a butterfly appearing at a moment of grief, a deer crossing your path when you need gentleness. These aren't coincidences. Indigenous cultures understood that animals carry specific medicine, Specific messages for those ready to receive them. Names have power. When you keep encountering the same name repeatedly, on books, in conversations, on license plates, the universe might be highlighting someone significant to your journey or reflecting an aspect of yourself you need to integrate. Pay attention to the etymological meaning of names that appear synchronistically. Books opening to exactly the right page, finding quotes that speak to your exact situation, stumbling upon articles that answer questions you were just asking. These are examples of bibliomancy, receiving guidance through written words. The universe uses any available medium to communicate with awakened consciousness. Dreams often precede synchronicities. You might dream of someone you haven't seen in years, then encounter them unexpectedly. This suggests that synchronicities begin in non-ordinary states of consciousness before manifesting in physical reality. Keep a dream journal and notice connections between dream content and waking synchronicities. Your intuition is your built-in synchronicity detector. It's the quiet voice, the gut feeling, the sudden knowing that bypasses logic and connects directly to universal wisdom. Modern life systematically suppresses intuitive abilities through constant stimulation, rational override, and disconnection from natural rhythms. The heart has over 40,000 neurons, creating what scientists call the heart-brain. This cardiac intelligence processes information faster than the brain and sends more signals to the brain than it receives. When you say you know something in your heart, you're literally describing a form of intelligence that operates beyond mental processing. Meditation isn't just relaxation, it's a systematic training in accessing non-ordinary states of consciousness where synchronicities become more apparent. Regular meditation practice strengthens your ability to perceive subtle connections, meaningful patterns, and energetic communications that constantly surround us. Indigenous peoples maintain intuitive abilities by staying connected to nature, following natural rhythms, and honoring the spiritual dimension of existence. They don't see intuition as separate from intelligence. They recognize it as a higher form of knowing that includes and transcends rational thought. Children naturally live in synchronistic flow until socialization teaches them to ignore their intuitive perceptions. Reconnecting with wonder, playfulness, and beginner's mind reopens channels of perception that allow synchronicities to flow more freely into your awareness. Trust is crucial. When you receive intuitive guidance, act on it immediately. The universe responds to action. Hesitation and overthinking interrupt the synchronistic flow and signal that you're not ready for deeper communication. Trust creates resonance. Doubt creates resistance. Practice feeling into decisions rather than just thinking about them. Notice how your body responds to different options. Does your energy expand or contract? Do you feel lighter or heavier? Your physical organism is constantly receiving information from fields of consciousness beyond rational awareness. Understanding synchronicity is just the beginning. The real transformation happens when you learn to consciously co-create with universal intelligence, rather than simply observing meaningful coincidences. This requires shifting from victim consciousness to creator consciousness, from passive reception to active participation in the cosmic dance. Set clear intentions, but hold them lightly. The universe often delivers what we need in ways we never expected. A missed flight might lead to meeting your future business partner. A relationship ending might open space for your true calling to emerge. Surrendering attachment to specific outcomes allows cosmic intelligence to orchestrate solutions beyond your limited perspective. Gratitude is the key frequency for attracting synchronicities. When you appreciate what is, you align with the abundance principle that underlies all manifestation. Gratitude isn't just an emotion, it's a vibrational state that resonates with the creative field of the universe. Practice gratitude for challenges as well as blessings. They're all part of the perfect orchestration. Pay attention to what you're putting into the morphic field through your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Every moment, you're broadcasting frequencies that influence what synchronicities you attract. Fear-based thinking attracts confirming experiences. Love-based consciousness attracts supportive synchronicities. Act on synchronistic guidance immediately, but without attachment to specific results. The universe communicates through opportunities, not guarantees. When a door opens, walk through it. When you feel guided to call someone, make the call. When you're drawn to a certain place, go there. Action demonstrates your readiness for greater responsibility in the co-creative process. Develop a personal synchronicity language with the universe. Maybe certain animals represent different types of guidance for you. Perhaps specific number sequences indicate different aspects of your path. The more you consciously work with these signs, the more sophisticated your communication becomes. You're not experiencing synchronicities in isolation. You're part of a massive planetary awakening as human consciousness collectively shifts from separation to connection, from fear to love, from scarcity to abundance. Every person who recognizes their cosmic nature strengthens the field for everyone else. The Schumann resonance, Earth's electromagnetic heartbeat, has been increasing in frequency. Some researchers correlate this with collective consciousness, elevation and increasing synchronicity reports worldwide. As the planet's frequency rises, it becomes easier to access higher dimensional guidance and meaningful coincidence patterns. Social media, despite its problems, has created unprecedented opportunities for people to share synchronicity experiences and realize they're not alone in these phenomena. Millions are discovering that their weird experiences are actually normal aspects of awakened consciousness. This collective recognition accelerates the morphic field transformation. We're witnessing the emergence of what Pierre Teilhard de Chardin called the noosphere, a sphere of human thought encircling the Earth. As more minds connect through electromagnetic fields and quantum consciousness, individual synchronicities contribute to a collective navigation system for humanity's evolution. Young people especially are reporting increased psychic abilities, prophetic dreams, and constant synchronicities. They're being born with capabilities that previous generations had to develop through years of spiritual practice. This suggests that the baseline of human consciousness is shifting at the species level. The convergence of ancient wisdom and modern science is creating a new paradigm, where synchronicity becomes the norm rather than the exception. We're transitioning from the age of separation to the age of connection, where living in flow with universal intelligence becomes as natural as breathing. Your role is crucial. Every time you acknowledge a synchronicity, trust your intuition and act on cosmic guidance. You model the possible for others and strengthen the collective field. Living in synchronistic flow isn't about waiting for signs. It's about becoming so attuned to universal intelligence that guidance flows continuously through your awareness. This requires developing what Taoists call Wu Wei, effortless action. Aligned with natural rhythms of creation, timing becomes crucial when you understand synchronicity. There's cosmic timing and ego timing, and they're rarely the same. Cosmic timing orchestrates events for maximum benefit across multiple dimensions and timelines. When you force things to happen on your schedule, you interrupt the synchronistic flow and often create unnecessary struggle. Learn to distinguish between true synchronicities and wishful thinking. Genuine synchronicities feel spiritually nourishing, expand your consciousness, and lead to positive outcomes even when challenging. False synchronicities often reinforce ego desires, create drama, or lead to confusion and disappointment. Develop what spiritual teachers call divine indifference. Care deeply about outcomes while being unattached to specific forms those outcomes take. This paradoxical state allows cosmic intelligence to work through you without your ego interfering with the process. Create space for synchronicity through regular practices that quiet mental chatter, meditation, time in nature, creative expression, or physical movement. Synchronicities emerge from stillness, from the gaps between thoughts where infinite possibility exists. The busier your mind, the harder it becomes to perceive subtle cosmic communications. Notice the quality of your relationships. People in synchronistic flow naturally attract others who are also awakening to their cosmic nature. Relationships become vehicles for mutual spiritual growth rather than ego gratification. Conflicts become opportunities for deeper understanding. Rather than power struggles, trust the intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair. The same cosmic wisdom that orchestrates galaxies is working through your individual life with perfect precision. Every soul comes to Earth with a cosmic assignment, a unique contribution to the collective evolution of consciousness. Your synchronicities are GPS coordinates guiding you toward fulfilling this assignment. They're not random events. They're carefully orchestrated communications helping you remember why you chose to incarnate at this pivotal moment in human history. Your unique gifts, challenges, and life experiences have been perfectly designed to prepare you for your cosmic role. The trauma you've overcome gives you compassion for others facing similar challenges. The abilities you've developed serve purposes beyond personal success. Everything in your life has been preparation for who you're becoming. Synchronicities accelerate as you approach major evolutionary leaps in consciousness. They cluster around decision points that will determine your path for years to come. When you're considering a major life change and synchronicities flood your awareness, the universe is confirming you're at a choice point that matters not just to you, but to the collective awakening. Your assignment isn't necessarily dramatic. You might be here to anchor light through your presence, to model unconditional love in your family, to create art that awakens others, or to develop technologies that serve consciousness evolution. No contribution is too small when viewed from the cosmic perspective. Lightworkers, starseeds, indigo children, whatever terms resonate with you, recognize that you're part of a conscious incarnational wave designed to assist planetary transformation. Your sensitivity to synchronicity indicates your role as a bridge between dimensions, helping others remember their own cosmic nature. The challenges facing humanity aren't problems to be solved, but evolutionary catalysts designed to force consciousness. Expansion, environmental crises, social upheaval, technological acceleration, all are perfectly orchestrated opportunities for humanity to choose love over fear, unity over separation, consciousness over materialism. Your mission isn't separate from these global transformations. Your personal awakening contributes to the collective shift. Living synchronistically means organizing your entire life around flow rather than force, intuition rather than intellect, being rather than doing. It's a complete paradigm shift that affects how you make decisions, how you relate to others, and how you understand your purpose on Earth. Start each day by tuning into universal intelligence through meditation, prayer, or conscious intention setting. Ask, how can I serve the highest good today? This aligns your personal will with cosmic will, creating conditions for synchronicities to flow naturally throughout your day. Maintain what spiritual teachers call soft focus, a relaxed awareness that notices patterns, connections, and subtle communications without forcing or obsessing. It's like peripheral vision for consciousness, allowing you to perceive meaningful coincidences while staying present to immediate experience. Practice saying yes to opportunities that feel energetically aligned even when they don't make logical sense. The universe often opens doors that your rational mind can't understand or approve. Following synchronistic guidance requires courage to step into the unknown, trusting that cosmic intelligence knows the bigger picture. Create supportive environments that nurture your connection to universal flow. This might mean decluttering your space, spending time in nature, surrounding yourself with inspiring books and art, or joining communities of like-minded souls who understand and appreciate your synchronistic experiences. Develop rituals and practices that keep you aligned with your cosmic nature. Journaling about synchronicities, oracle card readings, crystal meditation, sound healing, or any practice that helps you remember you're part of something infinitely larger than your individual existence. Trust that you're always exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, becoming exactly who you're meant to become. Even apparent delays, obstacles, and challenges are perfectly orchestrated opportunities for growth and evolution. We've journeyed from the illusion of random coincidence to the reality of cosmic communication, from the prison of materialistic thinking to the freedom of understanding your true nature as a conscious co-creator in an intelligent, responsive universe. Synchronicities aren't just interesting phenomena, they're invitations to remember who you really are and why you're here. Every meaningful coincidence is a love letter from the universe, confirming that you're seen, known, and guided by intelligence beyond imagination. You're not struggling alone through a chaotic existence. You're dancing with cosmic consciousness in a perfectly choreographed ballet of awakening. The next time you see repeating numbers, think of someone who then contacts you or find yourself in the right place at the right time. Don't dismiss it as chance. Recognize it as proof of your intimate connection to the creative force that orchestrates galaxies and grows flowers with equal attention to detail. You came to Earth at this time because your unique gift was needed for the great transformation occurring now. Your synchronicities are guiding you home to yourself, to your purpose, to your role in the cosmic plan. Stop looking for meaning and start living it. Stop seeking signs and start being one. The age of separation is ending. The age of connection has begun. You're not just witnessing this transformation. You are this transformation, awakening to your true nature as infinite consciousness, having a temporary human experience. Trust the flow. Follow the signs. Embrace your cosmic heritage. The universe has been waiting for you to remember who you are. Welcome home, fellow traveler. Welcome to the Synchronicity Revolution.